man. Ah, fighter of the night man. Ah, champion of the sun. Ah, you're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Damon!
What up, party people? How you doing? My name is Adam. Welcome to a Do Dirt Reviews, an entertainment channel for entertainment purposes. Today, I'm going to be talking about my 4K DVD collection that has slightly grown since the last time I talked about my 4K DVD collection. So let's have a look at it, shall we? You better die when I show up. Okay, so the first DVD I'm going to be talking about is The Lost Boys. The cover here, not the greatest of covers, I would admit, but it's still pretty good. It's like the depiction of the scene where they're all hanging off the railway lines and you know, being dumb and shit and going, "Come on, Michael, drop down and die, Michael, be one of us, it's cool." And then he goes, "Okay, because I'll do anything to fit in." And then he drops, and well, he only drops because he can't hang on any much longer, but yeah. And then he flies because he's a vampire. Sorry to ruin the film if you've never seen it. But yeah, really good transfer to 4K. The sound's really good. Some good extras on there. You've got like documentaries and little scenes that you've never seen before. And yeah, it's a really good and well worth a pickup, which is why I picked it up. Next is Donnie Darko. Now, I really like this film, and I always liked this film since it came out. This isn't the best of transfers. There's a problem with it, with the 4K disc, and it's a little bit jittery. And I did read about this before purchasing it, but I figured they would have fixed it by now, but they haven't. It's still out there with sort of dodgy, jittery 4K, so I had to watch the Blu-ray version, so which is really pretty disappointing. But it does come with sort of special edition stuff like the theatrical cut, the director's cut, and there's a few sort of audio commentaries and stuff by the director and stuff like that. But it is a really good film, and it does look pretty good, like I say, but other than the jitteriness, which is pretty bad. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have bought it, to be fair. So it's a big cautious buying this one because it may be a dodgy copy. Next film I absolutely love, Quentin Tarantino, and he wrote this. He didn't direct it, but it was directed by who directed this shit? It was directed by Tony Scott, but True Romance, starring Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette. It's a really good film. It's about true love, it's about drugs, it's about guns, it's about violence, but it's also about Elvis. And it's also got Gary Oldman in it, in one of his like best performances as a like crazy pretend Rasta guy.
I'm still a mystery to you, but I know exactly where your white ass is coming from. See, if I ask if you want some dinner, and you get the egg roll and start to try down, I say to myself, this motherfucker, he's carrying on like he ain't got a care in the world, and who knows? Maybe he don't.
It's a really great film, really good commentaries and stuff going on in it. Yeah, it's classic, and it looks really, really good in 4K. Definitely worth it. Predator, absolutely classic film. Arnie, it looks really good. There's still got like some grain to it, but a lot of people like the grain in the pictures. To me, I'm not fussed really either way whether there's grain or not. I don't need that kind of nostalgia just to be like, oh, it's grainy. That takes me back to when films were grainy. It's like, if it looks good, it looks good, but obviously it's about the film, and the film is fantastic, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger at his peak. And it's just like, and there's got some really cool extras in it. The sound's really good. It looks really good. It's a great film. Next is a Stephen King classic, Stand By Me. This looks fantastic. It's a really good transfer. It's a really good film, and it's just well worth the pickup. And I watched it and I was just amazed that it's like watching a film that you've never seen before almost, because it's like watching it for the first time with fresh eyes, like you've had shit in your eyes before and you like wipe the shit from your eyes and you're like, that sounds disgusting, you know what I mean, like sand in your eyes, let's say, and you wipe the sand from your eyes and you're like, oh, I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. And yeah, and then you watch Stand By Me, the 4K version, and it's really good. RoboCop, it's absolutely classic film. This looks really good. There's ton of extras on this one, which is really good to watch, really informative, and yeah, it's a fantastic film, and it will always be one of my favorite films ever. It's like it's like one of the films you watch as a kid and it just sticks with you, and you just watch it and you're like, yeah, I can watch this forever. Like RoboCop 2 was still good. I enjoyed RoboCop 2. RoboCop 3 was like terrible. Then they did that remake, which was terrible. But that will always be there. And now it's in 4K and you can watch it with beautiful, clear picture. Again, another Stephen King, The Shining. Love The Shining, classic film. I think I talked about this one before as well, so I'll be brief about this one, but it looks really good. The sound's really good, and obviously Jack Nicholson at his best as well. It's one of his best. I think it's the best film I've seen him in. I mean, he's done great films, but this is my personal favourite. And also, not to forget, Shelley Duvall's performance in this is really fantastic. And it's good to hear that she's back in the acting biz now after she had some mental health problems. But now, apparently, she's back in the acting biz. So, good on you, Shelley Duvall. Do your thing. The Northman. This is Robert Eggers' third film, I believe, and the one with a bit more budget. Really good, visually stunning. Pretty basic plot, but visually fantastic, and just look as a really good axe wielding type, epic-y type film. Really good. Another Stephen King. We're starting to see a bit of a theme here. I love Stephen King's films, and I love this film, Christine, about the demon car that just chases you around and drives over you and shit, and it like comes back to life. If you like smash it up, it still comes back. It's a really good film. I don't think there's any kind of big names in this film, but I don't think that matters, because it's sort of the main actor who plays the sort of main geek guy, I forget his name. He's really good, and his transformation to like this nerdy guy to this really sort of confident, really sort of a bit creepy, sort of aggressive guy is pretty good. And the actual visuals of this and the soundtrack, once again, really good. A lot of good rock and roll songs on this soundtrack. There's a few deleted scenes and things and commentary and stuff, but it's mainly the film for this one. Really good. Really good. Blade Runner 2099. The film itself, I'm not actually that keen on. I've sort of got a bit, on rewatching of it, I got a bit bored of it. I originally really liked it, and then I sort of like, this is overly long and a bit slow paced and a bit, but that's how it's supposed to be. And if you're into that, like the original film was sort of very similar to that as well, the Blade Runner film, very slow paced, sort of a noir sort of detective film set in the future with robots and androids and shit. But the visuals on this are fantastic. It looks really good. So if you've got a 4K TV and you want to show it off to your friends, this is a really good one to do that with. And the last two I've saved for last because these are my newest pickups. This is the first steelbook I've ever got. I'm not really fussed about steelbooks. I'd rather buy the cheaper version, whatever. But this one, mainly just because of the ear thing. The slipcover, the ear comes off. Reservoir Dogs is the film, of course. And this is a depiction of the scene where the cop's getting tortured by Mr. Blonde, and he fucking chops his ear off. And it's just a really cool scene, and that's just a really cool cover. And then you take it off, and you got your sort of steel book. And this looked amazing. Visually, it looks so good, so squeaky clean. And it's a fantastic film, and it's well worth picking up. A little pricey, I would say. I think it was like 30 quid or something like that. But yeah, it's worth it. Good film. And the cherry on my personal cake that I bought recently is this bad boy, Lord of the Rings trilogy. I don't think there's any like particular extras or anything with this. I think it's just the films, but it's like you get the 3 theatrical releases, three discs there, and then you get the 3 extended version discs, but they come with 2 discs each because it's such a big film, and as to not compromise on quality, they put it on 2 discs instead of trying to compress it onto 1 disc. They've got it on 2 discs each. And it really shows, it looks amazing, it looks brilliant. And I think especially what really stands out with this is the soundtrack. It's really like, I had to turn it down a bit because I've got my sound bar and the rumble stuff going on and the subwoofer, and it's just like, and I had to turn it down for the neighbors sort of thing. But obviously, if you know this film and if you love this film the way I do as well, it's a classic. It's just an epic film, really like fantastic costumes, fantastic music, fantastic acting. And it's just one of those films that are going to go down in history, and it already has done. I think it's been a good while since it first came out, 20 years or so, I don't know, but it's fantastic, and this is well worth picking up, and I'm so glad I did. Big chunky 9-disc set, I believe it is. But yeah, as I said, I don't think there's any extras on this particular version, but I don't need the extras, it's all about the film. So yeah, that's my 4K DVD collection as of currently now. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it very much. Until my next video, God bless. Goodbye.